and welcome to That's What's What in Mexico, our bi-weekly video product. Today we came just right out of the Movil Investor Day here in the Financial District in Manhattan. So we took the opportunity here to walk to this peaceful park here on the Battery. You might get some beautiful shot there of the Statue of Liberty, but I hope you enjoy it. And in terms of our content here today, we'll be covering three topics as we normally do. We're going to be flagging some of the things that caught our attention domestically within Mexico. Second, we're going to transition into the latest news around the USMCA review. And third, we're going to close with some of our preferred sectors for equity investors to follow. So kicking off here with our first point of discussion on the domestic side, I'd like to flag two things. One more of an economic nature. We recently saw this credit downgrade for Mexico, which has, it didn't rattle FX markets of capital markets, but it's putting a little bit more a spotlight on government finances and specifically on growth and how they're intending to kickstart growth going forward. We have seen this administration more pragmatic in terms of partnering up with the private sector. They recently introduced a bill, which we flagged here before, this infrastructure for strategic projects, which has a lot of people, a lot of stakeholders in Mexico excited. But we have yet to see, of course, the fruits of these bills. But nonetheless, we have seen much more attention and much more intention of the government to get that growth going. We have even seen them renewing concessions under previous schemes, for example, in the toll road business. So again, we continue to see this pragmatic characteristic that has been a signature move from Sheinbaum since taking office. Now, moving on to the other part on the domestic side that we wanted to flag on is on the politics side. We continue to see the indictments, these indictments against 10 government officials and former government officials in Mexico, reverberating through the Mexican politics ecosystem. Recently, Rubén Rocha, the former Sinaloa governor, and the senator actually gave their testimony before the Attorney General in Mexico, the Fiscalía. We have yet to see what that process will lead to, but we continue to see a slow progress on that front. At some point, there might be a decision to be made whether these individuals are extradited, whether the evidence warrants it or not. But nonetheless, this is going to be something that shapes domestic politics ahead of the midterm elections in 2027 in terms of candidate selection, but also the critical relationship with the U.S. Now, transitioning to the second point of discussion here that I wanted to touch on is on the USMCA review and the negotiation process. As a matter of fact, this week we have a delegation from the USTR led by Deputy USTR in Mexico to officially kick off these discussions around the USMCA review. The review was initially slated to be concluded in July 1st, but is clearly, as we've mentioned before, is not going to be right on time, right? I mean, we have already seen when the future meetings of these bilateral meetings are scheduled to take place. It'll be 17 of June, and then 20 of July, which is a day after the World Cup ends as well. So, of course, we still have this very important milestone for Minister Marcelo Ebrard and his team to go through, but we continue to be optimistic on this overall integration between Mexico and the U.S. We were in D.C., as I mentioned before. We met with Deputy USTR, and of course, this U.S. view about trading deficits is going to be a tough hurdle for Mexico to overcome. But we did hear straight from him that come July 1st, there will be a decision to be made on how to proceed around this relationship, this key relationship with Mexico. So we'll keep you posted on the latest, but we continue to be on the optimistic camp that Mexico will retain that preferential treatment vis-a-vis other U.S. partners. So moving on here and closing with our third point of discussion in terms of positioning and sectors, I would say the first one would be the nearshoring one. Given this view, this constructive view on USMCA, we continue to like the nearshoring sensitive names. So this is something that has resonated well with investors, and we expect that once the review is concluded, this sector will do well. We were in Tijuana visiting an electronics manufacturer not long ago, and they highlighted precisely this. We were able to really witness this pent-up demand firsthand, and we do believe that once this review is concluded, there will be additional demand coming through. The second sector that we like and that we've spoken about also extensively is on the consumer side. This year we believe is going to bode to be a better year for consumption in Mexico. We have not only easier comps in terms of adverse weather that we saw last year, but we have a stronger social program disbursement. Of course, the government wanting to stimulate the economy further. And of course, the World Cup will be a short-term boost for consumption as well. On top of all of the policies, social policies, wage policies that this administration has continued to push forward. So this is a sector that we like. And the figures that we saw in first quarter were actually quite encouraging. So this would be the second sector that we like. And the third would be the aeronautical one. Of course, the aeronautical sector has been battered by a lot of challenges, whether it's the security perception, high jet fuel oil prices, but we continue to believe that the Mexican players are well positioned to navigate this challenging environment. And we do see at some point a traffic trajectory reverting back to their historical mean. So that is basically the case there, and of course one of valuations and rates as well. So these are the three topics that we wanted to cover you today. Hope you found them informative here, and until the next time, amigos, take care and have a great one. Ciao, ciao.